Hello, my name is Omar Abdelmaguid, and this presentation is on precision and predictive medicine. The objective of this presentation is to define precision and predictive medicine, identify which medication has a high success rate at treating anxiety disorders, and identify which medication has a high success rate at treating substance abuse. Precision medicine is an emerging approach for disease treatment and prevention that takes into account individual variability in genes, environment, and lifestyle for each person. Precision medicine focuses on providing unique individual treatments for specific patients. Traditionally, medicine was prescribed for the average person, for example, Advil and Tylenol, having universal dosages. And precision medicine is still a developing process, as those receivers still require repeated corrective doses in order to become asymptomatic. Predictive medicine refers to the uses of genetic information to determine the probability of a patient developing a certain disease. Genetic information can potentially identify the agent causing the disease, such as smoke in a workplace, and applications provide clinicians with the ability to proactively prevent diseases from developing. For this Do One assignment analysis response to treatment, you are required to have Microsoft Excel and to download the datasheet. Data password is instructor's last name .xlsx. Question 1 asks you to create a table showing the relationship between anxiety diagnosis and response to citalopram. Report the rate of success for citalopram amongst patients with generalized anxiety diagnosis. For that, you'll need to open up the datasheet. It's password protected, and the password is a Limi. From there, you're going to click on the Insert tab, hover over the Tables tab, and select the Pivot Table. From there, the Create Pivot Table prompt should open up, and a preset table/range would be selected. Just click OK. That is the proper data. For Pivot Table fields, you're going to be using rows, columns, and values. Rows are going to be the generalized anxiety diagnosis data, and values and columns are going to be the medication data. It's important to change the values from the sum of to the count of in order to get the proper results. And the image on the right should be what you see if you properly do this. To find a success rate, you need to divide the number of successful CIT treatments of those with an anxiety disorder by the total number of CIT treatments for general anxiety disorder. These are a few images showing you how to do so. Make sure you select the two cells and to divide them properly using the formula, the cell formula tab. For question 2, which medication has a high success rate when the patient has anxiety diagnosis? Report the rate of success for each of the medications. Give your opinion on why it is difficult to understand which medications work for patients with generalized anxiety depression. For that, the process is still the same as question 1, except this time you're changing the columns and values. You still need to change the values from the sum of to the count of every time you change the type of medication you're observing, and the cell locations are still the same, so you shouldn't have any difficulty finding them. Just remember that the ones indicate those with the disorder receiving successful treatments, and the grand total is just the total amount of people with the disorder receiving the treatment. So in this case, it would be 6 divided by 29, giving you 0.2068 as the rate of success. These are the rate of successes for the other medication. Use it to compare with yours in case there was an error. For the answer, citalopram has the highest success rate against anxiety disorders. For the opinionated question, it is an opinion, so there's not a correct answer, but I believe a vast majority of people believe that it is difficult to determine proper dosage of medication for those experiencing mental disability because every individual has differing brain chemistry, which requires precision medicine in order to find the proper dosage, but precision medicine is not always accurate, and so repeated doses are always required in order until the patient is asymptomatic. For question 3, which medication has a high success rate when the patient has substance abuse? For that, the only parameters you're going to be changing are for the rows. Instead of generalized anxiety diagnosis, is going to be drug abuse diagnosis. And you're still going to be changing your columns and values depending on the type of medication you're going to be observing. Just remember to change the sum of to the count of, or else your data will be wrong. Remember to select the proper the proper cells to divide, or else your rate of success will be wrong. These are the success rates of the other medication for the drug abuse diagnosis. Use it to compare with yours in case there was an error in your process. And for the answer, the BUP has the high success rates for substance abuse. These are some of my references. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and I wish everybody good fortunes.